Warriors Into the Wild, Chapter 5, Part 2. The two apprentices ate the rest of their meal in silence. When they had finished, Gray Paw wandered over to Firepaw and began to groom his head. Together they washed, sharing tongues as Firepaw had seen the other cats do when he first arrived. Then, tired after a long trek, they pushed their way into their den. They settled down in their nest and quickly fell asleep. The following morning, Gray Paw and Firepaw arrived early at the sandy hollow. They had crept out before Sandpaw and Dustpaw woke. Firepaw had been eager to hear about the gathering, but Gray Paw had dragged him away. "You'll hear all about it later." "If I know those two," he mewed. It promised to be another warm day, and this time Ravenpaw came to join them. Thanks to Spot-a-Leaf, his wound was healing well. Graypaw played around, scooping leaves into the air and leaping after them. Firepaw watched, his tail twitching with amusement. Ravenpaw sat quietly at one side of the hollow, looking tense and unhappy. "Cheer up, Ravenpaw," called Graypaw. "I know you don't like training, but you're not usually this miserable." The scents of Lionheart and Tigerclaw warned the apprentice of their approach, and Ravenpaw mewed hastily. "I suppose I'm just worried about my shoulder getting hurt again." At that moment, Tigerclaw emerged from the bushes, closely followed by Lionheart. "Warriors should suffer their pain silently," growled Tigerclaw. He looked Ravenpaw straight in the eye. "You need to learn to hold your tongue." Ravenpaw flinched and dropped his eyes to the ground. "Tigerclaw's a bit grumpy today," Graypaw whispered into Firepaw's ear. Lionheart glanced at his apprentice sternly and announced, "Today we are going to practice stalking. Now, there is a big difference between creeping up on a rabbit and creeping up on a mouse. Can any of you tell me why?" Firepaw had no idea. Ravenpaw seemed to have taken Tigerclaw's comment to heart and was holding his tongue. "Come on," snorted Tigerclaw impatiently. It was Graypaw who answered. "Because a rabbit will smell you before he sees you, but a mouse will feel your paw steps through the ground before he even smells you." "Exactly, Graypaw. So, what must you bear in mind when hunting mice?" "Step lightly," Firepaw suggested. Lionheart looked approvingly at him. "Quite right, Firepaw. You must take all your weight into your haunches so that your paws make no impact on the forest floor. Let's try it." Firepaw watched as Graypaw and Ravenpaw immediately dropped into a stalking crouch. "Nicely done, Graypaw," meowed Lionheart as the two apprentices began to move forward stealthily. "Keep your rear down, Ravenpaw. You look like a duck," spat Tigerclaw. "Now you try it, Firepaw." Firepaw crouched down and began to creep across the forest floor. He felt himself fall instinctively into the right position, and he stepped forward as silently and lightly as he could. He felt a glow of pride that his muscles responded so smoothly. "Well, it's obviously you've done nothing but softness," growled Tigerclaw. "You stalk like a lumbering kitty pet. Do you think dinner is going to come and lie down in your food dish and wait to be eaten?" Firepaw sat up quickly as Tigerclaw spoke, a little taken aback by his harsh words. He listened carefully to the warrior, determined to get everything right. "His pace and movement will come later, but his crouch is perfectly balanced," Lionheart pointed out mildly. "Which is better than Ravenpaw, I suppose," complained Tigerclaw. He cast a scornful look at the black cat. "Even after 2 moons of training, you're still putting all your weight on your left side." Ravenpaw looked more dejected, and Firepaw couldn't stop himself from blurting out, "His injury is bothering him, that's all." Tigerclaw whipped his head around and glared at Firepaw. "Injuries are a fact of life. He should be able to adapt. Even you, Firepaw, have learned something this morning. If Ravenpaw picked up things as quickly as you, he'd be a credit to me instead of an embarrassment. Imagine being shown up by a kitty pet." He spat angrily at his apprentice. Firepaw felt his fur prickle with discomfort. He couldn't meet Ravenpaw's eyes, so he looked down at his paws. "Well, I'm more lopsided than a one-legged badger," mewed Graypaw, breaking off his careful stalking to stagger comically across the clearing. "I think I'll have to settle for hunting stupid mice. They won't stand a chance. I shall just wander up to them and sit on them till they surrender." "Concentrate, young Graypaw. This is no time for your jokes," meowed Lionheart sternly. Perhaps you might focus on your mind better if you try out your stalking, for real. All three apprentices looked up brightly. I want each of you to try catching real prey, meowed Lionheart. Ravenpaw, you look beside the owl tree. Graypaw, there might be something in that big bramble patch over there. And you, Firepaw, follow the rabbit track over that rise. You'll find the dry bed of a winter stream. You may find something there. The three apprentices bounded away, even Ravenpaw finding some extra energy for this challenge. With the blood pounding in his ears, Firepaw crept slowly up the river rise. Sure enough, a stream cut through the trees ahead of him. In leaf fall, he guessed it would carry the waterway away from the forest and into the great river that cut through RiverClan territory. Now it was dry. Firepaw crept quietly down the bank and crouched on its sandy floor, every sense felt on fire with tension. Silently he scanned the empty stream for signs of life. He watched for any tiny movement, his mouth open so he could pick up the smallest scent, his ears twisted forward. Then he smelled mouse. He recognized the odor instantly, remembering his first taste the night before. Wild energy surged through him, but he remained motionless, trying desperately to pinpoint the prey. He strained his ears forward until he picked up the rapid pulsing of a tiny mouse heart. Then a flash of brown caught his eye. The creature was scrambling through the long grass that draped the edge of the stream. Firepaw shifted closer, remembered to keep his weight on his haunches until he was within striking distance. Then he pushed back hard on his hind paws and sprang, kicking up sand as he rose. The mouse raced away, but Firepaw was quicker. He scooped it into the air with one paw, threw it into the sandy stream bed, and lunged on top of it. He killed it quickly with one sharp bite. Firepaw carefully lifted the warm body between his teeth and returned with his tail high to the hollow where Tigerclaw and Lionheart waited. He had made his first kill. He was a true ThunderClan apprentice now.